Hi, everyone. I'm Ellison Zisco from Home Accents today on behalf of Art. Our Art Talk today is about MidJourney, the AI generative program, and how it can be used across um, different applications for retailers, for vendors, for interior designers. I am here with Leslie Carruthers of Savor Partnership. She is a digital marketing expert. Hi, Leslie. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everybody. It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Allison.
Of course. So Leslie, I know that you have experimented and played a lot with various AI programs. Can you tell us a little bit about MidJourney and its applications for retailers, for vendors, and for interior designers? And then we can go into some of the nitty-gritty details of how to get started.
Absolutely. So MidJourney is what's called a generative AI program. In other words, you use MidJourney to secure an image that you can use in various places. And here's how I see it being used for these three groups. So if you're a designer watching this podcast, what I recommend, and many designers know this, that I've actually trained on how to use MidJourney, is you can use it to make a client very happy. So let's just say that you've gone out to their home or you've talked to them on the phone and they've told you, given you a brief description of what they want. You can actually take that description, go into MidJourney, enter those words, and come up with 4 beautiful images right away that may or may not be what the client has in mind, but literally within 5 minutes of meeting with your client, you can send them 1 to 4 images and say to them, is this what you had in mind based on the information that you gave me in our presentation?
You have a great conversation starter, a launch pad.
Absolutely. A launch pad is a great word. And many times those images are so beautiful that the client will say, oh my God, that's exactly what I had in mind. And that has actually really happened to several designers that I know where they have used MidJourney to present a quick concept to the client after the meeting. And the client has said, let's go. So it can help you close a sale much faster than you might otherwise be able to do. And that, for me, is really a key benefit of using MidJourney after a client presentation meeting, the initial client presentation meeting. Now,
Excellent. And if
for
you're a retailer, for instance, how can you use it?
Yeah, so for a retailer, you can use MidJourney to create a background that's appropriate for any new product or promotion that you might be running. And then you can simply Photoshop the actual product into the MidJourney image, and voila. So the thing about MidJourney is the image generation process takes generally less than 20 seconds.
Yes.
So that is what is amazing. It's just a huge time saver. So you can create that pretty background and then Photoshop your product in and done. And so you can put that out on your social channels. You can use that in a newspaper ad, etc. And it can get done just that quickly.
And if you're a manufacturer, you can use it to generate, I mean, some manufacturers are already using it for product development, but you can also use it to create your catalogs. And what's your take on that?
Absolutely. So on a catalog end, it's very expensive to produce a catalog for
Sure.
most manufacturers. And lots of times you'll have a product introduction at least 4 times a year seasonally. So you can use MidJourney for your image backgrounds. And again, take your product introduction and Photoshop it in to that background. And you can create kind of a seasonal background as well, if you'd like that idea. And so then you can put that into a flip book or put that on an issue or whatever, a little magazine, and send that out to your clients via email. So it's a very easy, inexpensive way to get your new product introductions out there in a beautiful background setting. On the other end, for manufacturers, and some of you know that I've done this already myself, you
Yes.
can use you can use MidJourney for product iteration. So many manufacturers, probably a lot of you that are watching this, have already done this and are doing it now, and getting product iteration, quickly, going through that process quickly. In my own case, I was asked to partner with the kitchen and bath brand Thompson Traders online, and produce a sink for them in MidJourney that they would then actually manufacture in the real world, which
This is
they did.
awesome. That's
And
terrific.
Yeah, so we introduced that at the National Kitchen and Bath Show this past February, and that was just a lot of fun, and it's now available on Thompson's website. So that was actually the first kitchen and bath product ever designed with AI that's been manufactured. So that was a lot of fun to work on that. But even if you don't actually bring the product you're designing into the real world, it is extremely fast to iterate on the back end with MidJourney till you get something that you like. And then, of course, human beings put the nuance on it and the subtlety and take care of all of the detailing.
Right. So why MidJourney? There are so many programs out there. Why is MidJourney your favorite?
It's my favorite because the images, for me at least, have been the best of any program that I've tried. There's Stable Diffusion out there, there's Dolly, there's many, but MidJourney produces very, very beautiful imagery. And of course, for the design world, that's important. So that's why, for me, MidJourney has been my favorite.
Okay. So can you walk us through the program a little bit from your experience in working with it for people who are just about to dip their toe into the water? Let's start from the very beginning. What steps can you take to become familiar with the program and work in it for those uses we just talked about?
Sure. So just so you know, the way that I really started using MidJourney myself was I am self-taught. And it's because I was considering doing some things in my own home and I heard about it. I said, well, let me just go see what happens. So I figured out how to, get on MidJourney, and we'll talk about that just quickly in a second. And then I just started really watching what other people were doing and what kind of commands that they were entering, what kind of text prompts, they were entering to get the images. And so I would, copy some of those different text prompts, not the exact wording, but some of the little things that they were adding to the back of their text prompts. And pretty soon what I was getting was like, wow, and so I started sharing that online and other people were like, wow, how are you doing that? So it just became something I was fascinated by and was like, wow, the speed of it was really what caught my attention. You can just get these very beautiful images so incredibly fast. And I knew, of course, for everyone in our industry that would have so much value. And so that is the journey that I personally had with MidJourney. But here's how to get started. You do need to sign up for the Discord server, and then you
Now,
can get.
before you go, what is the Discord server? What is that? Just briefly.
It is a kind of like just a website,
Okay.
basically,
Okay.
Discord website. So you have to sign up for a Discord account
Mhm.
on that website, and then you can sign up for a MidJourney account. And a MidJourney account now, I think, is $20 a month. I'm not 100% sure, but you can check on that.
Yeah.
I do have a blog post on my own blog at savorpartnership.com/blog about with step-by-step instructions. It's one of my most widely read posts about how to get on the Discord server and then how to sign up for a MidJourney account. But there are also a million YouTube videos out there now that you can just watch for free. Just Google how to sign up for a MidJourney account, and you'll be able to see how to do that in 1 minute. And then, so, you just will, I mean, you'll see if you watch a YouTube video about it, how easy it is. There are so many out there, how do I enter a text prompt in MidJourney? That's what I would recommend.
Okay.
And yeah, just /imagine, and then you enter the words. So a few little tips. The fewer words you enter, the better your image. So one problem that many designers had when they were first starting to learn, at least the ones that I trained on how to use MidJourney, was they were entering these long strings of words because, they're really trying to describe what their client wanted. And the bot gets confused by long
Okay.
strings of words.
So can you give an
So
example of a short, briefly worded prompt that works well?
yes, design a sink 16 by 13 oval using black metal with copper and silver accents.
Okay.
Boom. That's it. That may not have been my exact text prompt, but it was that short to get that sink that you all may have
Mhm.
seen. So it can also be design a 16 by 18 kitchen with white cabinets, green accents, a large kitchen islands, light streaming through the windows. That's it.
And that's your first prompt.
And that's the only one that
That's
you
the
need.
only one. Okay.
Yes. If you make it, I know it's shocking to so many people how easy it is to get a beautiful image from a very short text prompt. And you'll see that if you give it a very short text prompt, you will get a very beautiful image from that short text prompt. So you don't have to think about it a lot. The thing is, the bot does weigh what you write first. There's a weight assigned to each word. So the things that you want to weigh heavier in your design, you'll want to put at the beginning. So design a 16 by 18. I wanted that size, of a
Okay.
kitchen.
Right.
Or design a 16, and the word luxury, you can use the word luxury, but you can also use a word like bohemian or eclectic or mid-century modern. So if there is a style that you want, put that word towards the beginning if that style is really important to get the image that you're looking at, or farmhouse, or,
Right. No, that's a good
whatever.
piece of advice. Yeah.
Yes, whatever it might be. And then the other quick tips is at the end of every little string of words, for me at least, I would put editorial quality photography,
Okay.
comma, uh, V5, and then very sharp and distinct. So that way you get an image that's as sharp and clear as you possibly can get. And there are many other more technical kinds of prompts that you can give too. But those worked for me to get the imagery that, if you've seen any of the imagery I produced, it's quite crisp and clear and pretty. So,
Excellent. Leslie,
you
can you repeat that one more time? So what should be at the end of the prompt?
so I would always put editorial quality photography.
Okay.
And then V5 simply stands for version 5. You can read more about that online. It's a little technical, but V.5. And then comma, very sharp and clear. So that the image just is as clear and sharp as you can possibly get it. And there are lots of other, as I just said, kinds of little extra prompts that you can give imagery, and there's lots of people teaching about all that. But you really, don't need to go into all that. You don't need to take a big course to understand. If you really want to produce, ultra fine imagery, then, maybe taking a course to refine your prompt would be a good idea. But those little prompts and those little tips I just gave all of you will be enough to get you the kind of imagery you can use anywhere.
And once you produce that first image, if it's not quite what you want, you had mentioned Photoshop earlier. Do you then put it into Photoshop and work on it yourself, or can you further refine it with additional prompts?
You can definitely further refine it. So if I was showing you a screen right now of my own MidJourney account, you would see that 4 images come up for every text prompt. And underneath the image, it will have V1, V2, V3, V4, and then U1, U2, U3, U4. V1 means version 1. So if you want another version of image number 1, you just click that. And that will give you another version of the first image that you're seeing. So you're always going to get groups of 4.
Okay.
And that's how you get another version of the image that you're seeing. And if you want to up level, U stands for up level. So if you want just a crisper version of that image, number 1 that you like, or 2 or 3 or 4, you just click up level 1 and that will pop up a crisper version. And then you can open that image up on your computer, and it will pop up, large, and then you can just simply download it or take a screenshot of it. It's just so fast to get this very beautiful imagery. Then, to your point about Photoshop, you can also use Canva. So let's say that there's, something in the image that you don't want there. Canva Pro has their magic erase feature. So you can just take their magic erase and erase that little thing out of your image. If there's a light hanging on a wall somewhere weird, which sometimes happens if you've
Yep.
used MidJourney yet. So you can use Canva Pro's magic erase, or if Photoshop is more comfortable, you can just, cut that thing out with Photoshop. So whatever you want.
Excellent. Leslie, before we started recording, you and I were talking a little about labeling an image. Can you address that a little bit? I know we talked about transparency and how
Yes,
important that is.
definitely, Allison. So I feel in order to protect the integrity, especially of the interior design profession, but of our entire industry, I think it's very important that images that are created with AI have either a tiny badge on the bottom or your own logo, and it says on the image itself, created with AI or designed with AI or something like that. It can be small letters, but if it doesn't have that, what happens is the image then it gets picked up by Google image search, and it looks like, it's something real when it's not. And the problem with that, especially for designers, if you're a designer watching this, is that, your client may think you can actually produce something like that when you can't get that furniture. Not that you can't have it custom made, but the exact things in an
Right.
image are generally not available. And so it becomes sort of a trickery thing, in the consumer's mind that, oh, they were trying to get my business. And so they produce this beautiful image, but they don't really have experience in doing that kind of job, or they haven't actually done that. And that just doesn't leave a good taste in a consumer's, heart, I think, about, designers and the profession of design. So I think that we just have to be really careful about labeling the images themselves. And then if it's on Instagram, also including in the caption, you know, this AI generated image or, this rendering of a room, just something to let people know right in the beginning of the caption that this isn't actually something real. But you
Right.
could also say, this rendering is of sun-drenched outdoor space. And I have many real projects like this that I've completed, that are available to see on my portfolio. And then you can put a link to your portfolio. So that lets people know that you can do something like that and they can see the real things that you've done. And I think if I was still designing, which I did for 16 years, way back when, that would be exactly how I would handle it myself.
That makes a lot of sense. So you acknowledge upfront and then talk about the potential for what,
Exactly.
what you can
I
do.
mean, there's no doubt that many people are using AI images to, you know, rein people in, get likes and get comments, et cetera, kind of gaming the algorithm that way. But it hurts the profession if they're not labeled. I hope everyone watching really understands exactly what I'm saying. It hurts our credibility as an industry when consumers feel, duped
Right,
into
right,
liking something that's not real.
right. And you and I both said, we were discussing earlier, the whole idea of is using it for your business in a way that makes sense for you without displacing human workers, right? I mean, it's something we can talk about for a long time, but just wanted to also mention that. Well, thank you, Leslie. This has been incredibly helpful just as a starting point. You mentioned earlier that you have a blog, and I think you're working on a few upcoming workshops, if I understand.
Yes, so I do have a wonderful blog on my website, SAVOUR partnership.com/blog. So I'd love to have y'all go there and take a look. There's quite a few articles on AI, metaverse spaces there, all kinds of things. Allison knows. She actually visited our metaverse lighting trend house
Yes, which
at
was
the
very cool in Dallas. Yep.
and wrote a wonderful article about it. So thank you for that. And then this upcoming workshop is one I'm actually not giving myself. I'm just co-hosting. Annalie Waterman is actually the one delivering it, but it is how to create an AI assistant using custom GPT. So that sounds a little technical, but the bottom line is you are now able to create AI assistants that can help you in every phase of your business, and it is very easy to do. So our next workshop is July 26th, Tuesday, July 26th from 3 to 4:30 p.m. It's over on Eventbrite. It is $149. But if you're seeing this later, we are doing them monthly. So just check in with me
Just
over
keep
it.
checking back.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram as Leslie M. Carruthers, Carothes. So y'all are welcome to come over there and just, take a look at my grid and see when the next workshop is.
Wonderful. Oh, that's super helpful, Leslie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.